Skip Martin's Friends and Legends podcast. Hey, friends and family, how you doing out there? Welcome to my Friends and Legends podcast. Oh, today is going to be really incredible because I'm looking forward to this. I've got a new friend and a new legend, and this is Wayne and Alyssa Brewer, country and western artists. You guys are fantastic. Say hello. Can we hear you?
Howdy, howdy, buddy.
Hello.
There you are. There you are. Okay. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad to have you for this 20 minutes or so. And it was my pleasure, everybody, to meet these guys, meet this family and this couple at the Kentucky Derby. And, you know, as I'm sitting here on this bus going, I guess, to the Oaks, where they have the female horses running, I see this debonair brother sitting across from me. He had this vibe with this mustache and this hat, and he opened his mouth. He started talking like this, and I'm like, man, I already love you, and I hate you at the same time because your mustache and beard is so incredible. And that's how we started this amazing relationship. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thanks so much for having us, Skip. Like you said, man, that was absolutely incredible to meet you like that. And I was looking across, and you was in your suit, and you was all had them glasses on and them shoes, and I was looking at your watch and everything. About that time, you said, "Man, I like that mustache," and we just hit it off from there. And
yes,
we talked, I guess, the rest of the day, didn't we?
The rest of the day, yes.
Oh my goodness. So I want to get right into it. Some questions I wanted to ask you. You know, the first question I want to ask you was, what kind of music was playing in your house when you were growing up?
Well, it'd probably be some of the same and then some a little different. For me, my great-grandfather played with the original Carter family in the 1920s, like June Carter and them. So I'm a sixth-generation musician. So my dad and my grandpa, of course, played as well. More folk and bluegrass and traditional country, Skip. In other words, even with that in mind, I will give my dad credit. He always would say, in other words, it's important to listen to all genres.
Right.
So, you know, when I was about, I don't know, 10, 12 years old, he started introducing me to all the old Kiss records.
Wow.
And Queen.
Yeah.
And Boston.
Wow.
You know, Smoking Water, you know, a Machine Head album,
Yeah.
you know, from Deep Purple.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
all that stuff. So a little bit of everything, and then you tell on yours now.
I listened to more pop, hip hop in that direction, and my dad listened to like rock and country. So I had a little bit of those too, but mostly like high school music and stuff. You know,
Wow.
music, all that stuff.
Well, you're saying about your generation because to
It's
see
a little bit different than him.
yes, to see a very beautiful country girl over there listening to hip hop, that's like blowing my mind. I'm like, wow, it's really become commercial.
Well, I wasn't very country, but I was a city girl through and through.
She's the citiest country girl you ever meet. But
Okay, I got you.
We do live in the country, you know.
I got you. Okay, so tell me this. All right, well, who are the artists that made you fall in love with music? Your dad?
Yeah, I guess, you know, in other words, my dad and my grandpa. And like I said, I think I told you this, Skip, but I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records twice.
What?
Once for
the
youngest
mustache.
recording artist, and once for, yeah, once for being the youngest to perform on the Grand Ole Opry. And of course, both of them were thanks to my dad because I was out with him while he was performing there, and that's how both of those happened. But
Wow.
when my mom would always go, you know, when I was young, then she wouldn't let me go with the guys by myself. And I finally, at 7 years old, I talked her into letting me go on the road by myself.
Wow.
So since 7 years old, I've been all over the country and stuff, and so every week and weekend being out with them, that made me fall in love with music as a whole and just performing. And then with you sang in church your whole life. And
I've always loved music, but maybe an artist that made me fall in love with singing and wanting to perform and stuff would probably be, believe it or not, Carrie Underwood.
There you go.
She
really
performs just so amazingly with her whole body,
yes,
her voice, and I still love her to this day.
Oh yes, she's great. She's the modern day Dolly Parton. Okay, without the boobs.
Amen.
But she was killing it. Oh, yeah. I love that. Okay. All right. So, well, let me see. Do either of you have a moment where you almost gave up music?
Well, about every day, I reckon. No. No, here's something, just like me and you talked, that's why we got talking so much. And I know we ain't got all day on this one, but in other words, to dive a little deeper into that question, and I think you can agree with me on this because you've been in it, of course, much longer than I have. But in other words, you have the music business, and then you have music.
Yes.
Right. In other words, the love of music, the passion of music, the love of the art and performing, all that on this hand, and then you have the business over here. Both are equally fun and both can be equally addicting, but the music business I get fed up with on a regular basis and have for years, as we all do.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's got ups and downs like every other business. I don't care what line of work you're in, it's up and down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All of it. But as far as the passion of music and the art of actually music and performing and all that, I've never given up on it because, at the end of the day, even if I've had a hard day messing with all the business and all that mess, I'll sit down on the couch and I'll grab a guitar and start playing it, and you remember why you fell in love with it in the first place. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. That makes sense. Matter of fact, that's going to take me to this question in right here. Okay, what was the first real, wow, this is happening moment in your career?
Probably, for me, when Golden Ring dropped, the first single off our debut album with Sony, it come out and we... you'd think I'd have had enough sense not to do this, but for whatever reason, we went to Florida to try to have vacation on the week that first single dropped because I figured, well, all the label people's doing it. I won't have to do nothing, and we'll be able to just go and kind of celebrate all the work up to that point that we did. Well, I was wrong because we got up there, and then I was on the phone the whole week on the beach sitting there trying to enjoy and all that. But at the end of the day, when that come out and the video went viral for it, that was like, for me, I was like, oh man, all this is actually working.
Yes.
Thank God.
I was super excited about all that, but it hit me, and it really has been exciting ever since when All I Have to Offer You Is Me got the People article, People magazine, and it's just, when you tell people that, they're just like, what? And you're just so happy to just tell people about it, look at it, and our daughter got to be featured in it. It's just really cool to look at and see and know that you're in there.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
I
thought that's
really,
what you were
I
gonna
didn't
say,
really think about
but
it. But in
it's
other words,
true.
like even when I told my parents, we got a People magazine feature, they're like, actual People magazine, or like, I mean, is it like really?
People in the Neighborhood magazine, right?
They were, yeah, and I had people call in our family and everything, and was like, about that. So you're right. That's probably
that's the point. Yeah.
You know what? And as I'm asking you that question, it makes me think back because we with the Dazz Band had the song Let It Whip that had been going #1 on every chart and almost every city, but the last city to really tell you if you were making it was New York City. And we were playing somewhere, it might have been Madison Square Garden, and we were playing this concert, and they had so many people that were on the show with us that they put us across the front of the stage like we were a marching band. We couldn't even be depth with the drummer behind us. They just had us in front of the curtain to play. And then they told us, you have 15 minutes. And then when we got closer, they said, you got 10 minutes. Okay, then we got closer. You got 7 minutes. So when we started playing, we said, well, all we can do is do the intro and play our song, Let It Whip. So we started playing Let It Whip. And it was just like something on In Living Color, where everybody started jumping up and down and doing handsprings and backflips and this and that and so forth. And we looked at each other and we said, I think we got a hit record. Because it was amazing to see the response. I never will forget that moment. It was like, wow, I think we got a hit record. You know, so I can relate to that, okay? All right, so I tell you what I'm going to do. I want to get to this one right now. Okay,
Well,
so...
now, I remember In Living Color. I don't know if you've ever, have you ever seen that? You don't know what he's talking about. I used to watch that. See, that's another thing my dad put me on. You know,
yeah, that was crazy. That
when
was a
Jim
great
Carrey, before he
comedy.
was
Yeah.
anybody.
Oh my gosh, David Allen Greer and all of these different
I
people.
love
And
that.
it was great. It was
Yes.
funny. It was cutting edge, and it was like true. They were making satire out of real life stuff. You know, so it was really funny.
Skip Martin's Friends and Legends podcast, sponsored by Electric Shop Recording Studio, the best recording studio in Las Vegas, award-winning engineers, top-of-the-line equipment, and specialized service.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this one, and Alyssa, this one's going to really bring you into the whole picture of this. Okay, so, oh my goodness, let me see. Listen, okay. So, who's more likely to change something at the last second between you two?
Probably him. That's probably him. I'm the one that's apt to be late, and he's the one that's apt to change thing on a whim. He just decides
Okay.
right off the
Okay.
bat. So
Yeah.
spontaneous.
She gets on to that sometimes, you know. Like last second, hey boys, let's do this song. And she's like, I've never even heard that song.
Okay. Well. Okay. Then
man.
tell me this. Now, this always happens to us at some point in time. So, have you ever forgotten the lyrics on stage and just had to freestyle it?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
You've got to pretend like it's not happening. Nobody knows you're messing it up, and then,
Right,
you just
right.
fill in the
But
blanks
you.
best you can.
who taught you that?
You.
I'll tell you what, Skip. You can ask her because I don't. We don't set like lyric sheets or prompters or nothing like that. But occasionally, and it's more sad when it's one that you wrote yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? But anyway, occasionally I'll have on just, and it's never like that I just forget, but there's other things that people in the crowd don't realize that's happening. You know, in other words, whether you can hear good in your ears or whether you're fighting technical difficulties that people in the audience don't understand and all that while leading the group. So like I lead guitar and sing a lot of the lead, and kind of blab and run the show and all that as well. So in other words, I'm multitasking. So I'm always telling her, I'm saying, hey, make sure you know even my words on the song. So if I have a brain fart middle of the verse, I can look over at you and you can mouth it to me, and she'll do that. She'll help me, when I need it.
Yeah.
Well, I wish that sometime I had somebody like an Alyssa right next to me on stage, because I remember when that happened to me in Monte Carlo with singing the song "Cherish the Love," and I had sung the song 1,000+ times, but when the catwalk pushed me out in front of the table and stopped me right in front of Prince Philip, Princess Stephanie, and Sir Elton John at the same table. And when I got out there, the band was playing ding dong ding dong ding 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 dong ding dong ding, and I'm supposed to start singing "Take a Walk Together." I couldn't remember one word, and I just sat there. And the band was just doom, 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 doom. What's wrong with Skip? Doom, doom, doom. Why won't he sing? Doom, doom. And I was just frozen. Couldn't remember the word. Took me all the way till we got to the chorus. Now, of course, seems like forever. When you forget the words and you got to wait all the way till you get to the chorus, it seems like that's a lifetime. Then I'm waiting to get to the chorus, and finally, cherish the love. I'm like, oh God, thank you so much. Oh my God. Been there, done that. Oh gosh. So I ask you questions that happened to me as well.
Real,
Oh yeah, that was some real shit right there. That was real. That was for real. Okay, so oh my gosh. Okay, so so tell me this. What keeps you let me see. What was one of the life lessons that music has taught you?
You go first.
That's a good cop out.
That one. You go first. You're better on your feet.
Well, at the end of the day, like you was talking about a minute ago, perseverance, because, anything in life that's worth doing is worth, doing right. In other words, no matter what I'm doing, I really do try, Skip, not to slop through anything. And what I mean by that is, in other words, it don't matter if it's a small, intimate, 200, 300, 400 seat place that we're playing, or if it's, a thing with, thousands and thousands of people. I try to give the same show, no matter, if I'm making a ton of money on one show and not as much on the other, or everything in between, or if I'm sick as a dog and I'm got a fever, or my voice is gone from laughing and talking the night before and acting stupid, entertaining people or whatever. In other words, it's not those fans' fault. You understand what I'm saying? So I always try to give matter of fact, we was up there at the Derby, that night. We got ready to go on, I sound about like this right here, from jabbering all day. But at the end of the day, I got back there and got all, tried to clear my throat up best I could, and went up there and done the very best that I could do for what we was doing. And so that's for me, perseverance. What about you?
Well, mine's kind of like that. I would say in a lot of other aspects of my life too, hard work does pay off, and then you also get to have fun while you're doing it. And that is the best way to spend your work days, is having fun, especially with your spouse. So I learned that hard work pays off, and you just gotta, dedicate yourself, just like a lot like he said. But it's true.
Yeah, and it ain't easy.
Everybody you just gotta push and make the best
that is
of
so
it, and
true.
have fun while doing it with each other.
Yeah,
That's right.
That is so true. And as we're getting closer to the closing of this, that is a great message to leave, because one thing I've identified is that anything great hurts. Anything that is to be great, there's pain is involved in it. And you have to persevere through that pressure, through that challenge, and through that pain. And on the other side of that is greatness. So that's a real lesson that we should leave with other people here. Before we go, I have a little clock running. It helps me to keep track of where I'm at. Before we go, what is the message? Maybe that was the message that we want to leave with people today, that, to be great at anything, just prepare yourself to overcome the challenge and the pain. Endure the pain. Ask anybody. Ask Dolly Parton. Ask Muhammad Ali. Ask Michael Jackson. Ask anybody great. Ozzy Osbourne. Ask anybody great. That's the challenge. That, I think, is the lesson that we need to pass on. In order to be great at anything, you have to stand and challenge and endure the pain. Would you agree with that?
Amen. Before we leave, I want to introduce you to somebody, Skip, before we leave here.
Okay.
My little girl, our little girl, and let you say hi to her real quick. But I just wanted to tell you, Skip, thank you for having us on here. It really meant a lot to me when you asked up there that night, and I thought, you said this Friends and Legends podcast. I said, well, I ain't no legend per se. And you said, well, yeah, you are. And you said, you're my friend too. And that means a lot.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys. And look at this. I get to look at the most beautiful thing on the screen today. Hi there, baby girl. How are you? Hi, baby. You sound so cute. Come here. Okay, you sound so cute. Okay, so this is my baby. This is Sydney. Say hi. Say hi.
Oh,
How you doing? So we're out here hanging out. Well, I want to tell you guys I love you so much, and you're my new friends and legends, and I'm going to keep you posted on what's going on. And I want to thank you for coming and giving me your love and your time today and your story and showing me your beautiful family. This is really great. All right?
that's what we're
So I
both
want
proud
to
of,
thank
Skip.
you. Yes, thank you so much, you guys. The Brewer family here, ladies and gentlemen, on my Friends and Legends show. And before I go, I have a phrase, and I think I said it to you when we were on the bus. My phrase is, don't play no games. So remember that, okay? And I'm going to talk to you guys later on another episode of Friends and Legends, right here with Wayne and Al. Oh, wait. Alyssa, and what's your baby's name?
This is Alayna.
Alayna. And Miss Alayna, the Brewers, everybody. Nice to meet you guys. Good luck to you. And sing that song there, my brother, okay? All right. Take care. We'll be talking soon.
Friend.
Thank you.